When it comes to building a business, to some it's never an easy task to partake, and to some they have very good stories of how they started from scratch and built their empires to profitability. And that's the reason why Bizna Kenya and MC Moments have partnered to bring you Biz Talks. Biz Talks. And here we shall be hosting mentors, people who have gone ahead of us, people who have created these empires, people who have also on the verge of creating these particular big businesses. And these lessons will be valuable for you, the business person, for you, the aspiring business person, the entrepreneur, so that at least you can make wise decisions when it comes to building that business. So every Friday at 8 a.m. on all business platforms, that's the Facebook and YouTube channel. All right, good morning and welcome to Biz Talks. I hope you're keeping well, safe. It's very cold, so I hope you're keeping warm as well. We here at Biz Talks as well are excited to have you on board. You know, last week we started talking about amazing stuff that we see. And in fact, the word amazing is wrong. I should say things that are happening on the ground, especially with the regulatory matters. And this week we have an interesting guest. His name is David, and we shall be getting to know more about him. And he is the CEO of the Clean Cooking Association of Kenya. Have you ever heard of it? Clean Cooking Association of Kenya. And so he's here. We're going to learn a lot about it. What is all this, by the way? How do you cook? Do you save on energy? So many other things. And what are, such, sectors, what is the impact such sectors would have in the nation if we really embraced such stuff like clean cooking? I'm so seated on the learning seat to learn, and of course because of that I need to be comfortable, and as usual I just want to flip my cap first of all to welcome you, David. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Let me serve you some courtesy of Melvin's. We have a conglomerate, and I told you to peep there. Have you made a choice?
I think I'll go for the green tea and mint.
For the green tea and mint?
Yeah.
Pick it from there. Are you going to have it with some water, milk or something?
Water.
Water. Yeah, hot water is good by the green meat. So good to have you here, man, and I hope we made this with some clean cooking. I'll ask you those questions later on.
I'll ask you how you made that.
Just pass the cup this side so that I can pour you the water. So I just hope so I can tell the people who made it that we need to be embracing some clean cooking stuff here. Anyway, are you vaccinated?
Yes, I have my first shot.
Oh, okay.
So not fully, but
yes. So same case here, by the way, and well, I don't know.
Most people just got the opportunity.
Yes.
This time around.
I know. It's interesting how the uptake is now. People are really like running to it now.
Yeah,
I mean, when the vaccines were here at first, I think people were a bit skeptical. But we are telling people, wherever they are, if you're not vaccinated, get vaccinated. You're better safe than not attempting to look aside. So if you're watching, let me know, where are you watching us from? Where are you? And I'll not ask you the question about whether you embrace clean cooking, but it would be nice to hear a guess of what you think clean cooking is. So wherever you are, let us know that you are with us and where you're watching us from, as we get to learn more from David, who is in the house. So maybe let me start with just asking you, when people ask you who's David Ngugi, what do you say?
The CEO of the Clean Cooking Association of Kenya. I'm a renewable energy enthusiast.
Yeah.
And I've worked a lot in supporting businesses. So trying to integrate issues of sustainability issues into businesses and offering solutions. That's who I am. So renewable energy, sustainability is my thing.
I mean, and that's the direction the world is going. We're talking about sustainability, thinking about the environment big time, because we need to leave the world as a safer place for even the generations to come. Yeah. That's interesting. So let's just get into the Clean Cooking Association of Kenya. And let us know in brief, what is it all about?
The Clean Cooking Association of Kenya is a business membership organization that represents the interests of stakeholders in the clean cooking sector. So we basically advocate for an enabling environment for clean cooking, adoption and use, and investment into the sector as well. We do capacity building of the sector across the various platforms from policymakers to supporting the businesses that are in the sector.
Yes.
A lot of them are SMEs, they're small growing companies.
Yeah.
They are also startups.
Yeah.
So we work with them and also create awareness.
Yeah.
Me being here is a very good opportunity to enlighten people about clean cooking, because when you talk about clean cooking,
Yeah.
it's basically cooking with fuels that are less polluting, that do not harm the environment,
Yeah.
that are healthier,
Yeah.
such as biogas or electricity or bioethanol,
Yeah.
or sustainable biomass.
Yeah.
So there are various technologies out there that a lot of people are actually not aware of.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah,
cannot
like
afford.
those bioethanol, those are serious terms, man.
You should get an ethanol cooker in your house. It cooks as clean. Actually, it's cleaner than gas.
So it's cleaner than the gas we use.
Exactly.
Hey, okay, and they are
And
available.
burgers, yeah, they're available. If you're in Nairobi, they're all, one of the biggest companies who is also our member is called Coco Networks.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen them. Green label, no, blue. Their label is blue.
Yeah.
But they've proven that ethanol can actually be used for cooking, and it makes out of business sense. So they started here in Nairobi. They have around 200,000 customers already.
Yeah.
Within a span of what?
Wow.
2 years.
Okay. Is it cheaper?
It is cheaper.
It is cheaper.
Yes, cheaper.
Wow.
Cheaper
You know,
than-
you just reminded me, I went to visit a certain gentleman who, just from the comfort of his home, has a system, a biogas system he has done. It's using just, these waste products, the peels from potatoes and all those kind of things, mangoes and all that. And he uses that for his electricity and his cooking needs. And just that, I don't remember the exact name, just that one system in itself does for the entire home. And I thought, wow, this guy has saved a lot of money from what we use. Speaking of which, I know we'll be talking about how the costs have been going up here.
Yeah.
So I don't know, from a landscape of where we are, where are we in Kenya? Have people embraced these things, or we still have a long way to go?
Unfortunately, the statistics show that around 59% of households in this country
Yeah.
still use the traditional methods of cooking. And when I mean by tradition,
Yeah.
it's the 3-stone open fire
Yeah.
cooking.
Yeah.
Ile mawe matatu.
Mawe tatu. That's what we know, right?
Exactly. 60,
Yes.
close to 60%
Yeah.
of households in this country use that.
Wow. That's quite a huge number.
Around 70% of households use biomass, either charcoal or firewood to cook.
Yeah.
30% use a form of improved or clean cooking. Okay, so we have 70% of households in this country that are using dirty fuels.
Yeah.
They're using paraffin. They're using
The firewood.
very inefficient charcoal
Yeah.
charcoal stoves.
Yeah.
They're using firewood.
Yeah.
It's polluting.
Yeah.
When you inhale these particles and all that, it causes a lot of respiratory illnesses.
Yeah.
Okay. And in this age of COVID, you can imagine, because it's like smoking.
Yeah.
Over time, it affects your lungs
Yeah.
and makes you susceptible to, these illnesses and cancer as well. So there's a statistics of around 21,000 people dying every year
Yeah.
due to household air pollution related illnesses, and that's mainly because of the way we cook
Okay.
and the way we light our homes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Very, very
in
interesting.
this time and age, someone shouldn't be dying because of,
You're right. And most of this, our grandmothers don't know these things. They don't know that, they're shortening their lifespan because of,
Exactly.
the daily inhaling of such dangerous, smoke and stuff inside those smokes and all that kind of thing.
You can imagine the effect it has on mainly women and children, because in our culture, they're the ones who tend to
Absolutely.
be
They're the ones who
taking care of
stay
the
in the kitchen,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
So it's a lot, and the amount of money they spend
Yeah.
treating those illnesses, that cough, and if you go to place where a lot of this is happening,
Yeah.
especially in rural areas,
Yeah.
you'll find that your mom has a persistent cough that never goes away.
It never goes
And
away.
people never think about what is the reason. Mainly it's because of,
You're
the
right.
smoke that she inhales every day.
In that closed up kitchen.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's get the road running now. Let's talk about the value of energy to the success of businesses, because ideally quite a number of the people who are watching are business people, and maybe they're asking, okay, what's all this about? Okay, it's clear now, we have something called clean cooking. So what's the value of energy to the success of businesses from where you see it?
So energy is an enabler
Yeah.
for businesses. Without energy, industry won't run.
Yeah.
Without energy, you'll not cook.
Absolutely.
Without
No
energy,
food. No food, sorry.
You will not have hospitals running.
Yeah.
So energy is a key
Component there.
component
Yeah.
in business.
Absolutely.
How we use it is very important, because how you use your energy,
Yeah.
how you utilize it, will depend on how competitive you are, because energy is costly in this country.
Okay.
The tariffs that government has set are quite high.
Oh my.
So if you do not conserve your energy,
Yeah.
if you're not energy efficient, then your products definitely,
Yeah.
your cost of production goes high, and it means that you'll have to sell it at a higher price.
Yeah.
Compared to someone else who is more energy efficient, who is conserving their energy,
Yeah.
they will be able to produce more with less.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And out compete you. So it's important for businesses to realize the need to, one,
Yeah.
be energy efficient.
Yes.
That's the first step. Conserve that energy that you're using. Make sure that you're using, you're buying energy efficient equipment.
Yeah.
That you have processes within to optimize your production.
Yes.
Because if you do not optimize your production, you will end up using more energy to produce, and you're competing against the world.
Absolutely. And in fact, I would want you to really go practical. We can look at an example of a business that you've seen that have embraced such a thing, and maybe how it ended up trickling down to them reducing cost. I think so that people can relate with this. And of course, when I sit here and I hear Clean Cooking Association, I hear Matters Energy, first thing first that hits me is about my home. So people just go home and think about their gas, how electricity in this country, and we know how people sometimes have made a lot of noise, we have a lot of issues there. But people fail sometimes to think through that actually in your business, the cost of doing business is, there's a huge component that comes from the energy part of it. And even the manufacturers, the big manufacturers that we have in this country, the huge costs that come along with energy is trickled down to the consumers and the customers. I think I had a sit-in with the Tononoka CEO, and when I saw their power bills, my goodness, these things hit, they hit close to the billion, man.
Yes.
Those marks, and that's when I knew, wow, the cost of energy really has an impact. So when you're buying just that metal bar for your construction, you really don't know that one of the huge costs that you're paying there is the cost of just making that up.
It can be up to 40%.
Up to 40%.
Yeah.
And so you can imagine if we had ways of cutting that down, how the cost of, even the construction industry by itself would really go down. So we're talking about Matters Energy here, sustainability, and we have David Ngugi, who is the CEO of Clean Cooking Association. So wherever you're watching us from, let me know. By the way, what do you use to cook at home? Are you using ethanol? That's what you say?
Yes.
Ethanol? Are you using just normal gas, or you don't even know, or you don't care? Let me know if you're watching and where you're watching us from. This is an interesting conversation. Sometimes it can be a bit difficult to, just digest, but flow with us. So let's move on. And let me ask you, from where you see it, where is the hindrance? Where is the hindrance in embracing this, clean energy, if I may call it that? Where is the hindrance Why are we not hitting the 70%, 80% mark of people using this, clean energy?
So there are a lot of things that go into clean energy.
Yeah.
Clean energy is also a new concept. There are new technologies that are coming.
Yeah.
Meaning that they are sometimes not cheap. Okay. So costs, affordability is a key.
Okay, affordability, definitely.
Challenge.
Yeah.
Number two, sometimes the technical capacity of our engineers, our technicians, to either install or operate such systems is a bit lacking, okay, or inadequate.
Yes.
Then there's the issue of awareness, okay?
Yeah.
The issue of technical capacity has been resolved to a large extent, okay? We have very good companies out there who can install solar for your home or for your business, for example, who can do an energy audit and recommend very good measures to save your energy and all that.
Wow.
But that needs to grow, okay? The awareness within industries themselves, for example, also needs to be built. A lot of the engineers in the factories are not really aware, and they do not have the technical capacity to actually implement some of the things that are recommended. Okay. So it definitely hurts business. So it's good to invest in your employees, train them in energy efficiency, train them on renewable energies. We have, I mean, for most part of the year, we have the sun up, sometimes just getting wasted.
We are blessed as a nation to have all that.
There are companies. I mean, there are a lot of flower farms, for example, that have installed solar for their cooling and for their cooling needs.
Yes.
There's a time I did some work for EABL, for example.
Yes.
Your beer is made very efficiently, I must tell you. They're one of the most efficient factories. BAT, the same. I mean, there are a lot of them that have done some very good work. And even embraced such concepts as circular economy, trying to minimize waste and,
Absolutely. So. Okay, and we see those hindrances, definitely. Sometimes people may not know. One of it is actually even awareness that you can actually save up. And doing these kind of things. Allow me to just give a shout out to a few people. Karanja Miriam Nyams, Clean Cooking Solutions, thanks a lot for watching. Dis Ibrahim, watching from Mogadishu. Wow. And I hope from there as well, you're also trying to embrace some clean cooking. Thanks a lot. Let us know where you are, where you're watching us from. Let's get into the conversation because people I know are still trying to digest and get to know this. So we hear about also the circular economy. First of all, what is that?
Circular economy is actually not a difficult concept.
Okay.
It's a model, a regenerative model of economy. Where you try to minimize the resources that you use to make a product and also the waste that comes out of it. Okay. So the opposite of circular is linear, where you produce, use, dump. Okay. Now circular, how you produce, the design of your product has to be very efficient, optimized. You have to look at the impact of your product that you're designing to the environment. Okay. Is it easily recyclable? Is it durable? Meaning that it will be there for long. Can it be reused? So from the design, you have to integrate those concepts.
Just from the term itself, it's that we are trying to minimize the waste.
Make it exactly. So you want a product. If this phone, for example, can it circulate, if I may use that word, in the economy for longer? Instead of me dumping it after a few months or a year. So then in terms of waste, waste is a resource.
It's a big resource.
It's a big resource. People are making money from waste. So how can we recycle more okay?
Yeah.
Upcycling, you know, the way people use broken glass to make art, very beautiful, you know, pieces.
Yeah.
Reusing, you know. In Europe, it's becoming very popular.
Yeah.
You know, the Mituma business that we know here, it's not so popular, you know. We don't want Mituma is the connotation of it. But in Europe, you get second-hand clothes shops that are becoming very popular.
Wow.
Like kid shops where if you have a kid, you know, within they outgrow their clothes very fast, you know.
Yeah, they
put it for a month
very fast. I know you don't need these clothes
so
anymore.
instead of you just throwing them into the that's why can't there be a way of, so they've put chips onto these, so when you buy you actually take it back to someone who can maybe repair it if it needs a bit of repair, because most of the time it's usable. Then it's put back into, and someone else comes, buys it, uses it for a month, and returns it. And that's a way of making sure that this product, one, we are not putting stress on the resources.
That's true.
Meaning because we are not making new clothes every time, and we are also managing waste. Okay, we are making sure that this product lives as long as it can.
That's true.
And at the end of it, there is value that can be generated from it. Meaning that, you know, it can be composted, for example, to make manure and to, you know, so value across the whole chain.
That makes sense. And I think what you're saying is that, for me, the underlying word is minimizing waste. That we are trying as much as possible not to strain the resources that we have, to try as much as we can. But it's interesting to hear that's happening in Europe. You know, I thought this was our dumping site, but anyway, it's good to know that they also can recognize that. Yeah. So if this can be a reality, and I speak this because we see a lot of dumping that ends up even harming the environment, that we have seen companies sometimes being accused of, what are you doing? Yet they could have mechanisms of trying to, you know, recycle some of these wastewaters that we see and all those kind of things. I know there can be a big topic about that, but I also want for you to help us understand another term here about the green economy, and then we shall now go to a little bit of relative questions. What is the green economy?
So green economy is basically what we've been talking about.
Lovely.
It's embracing renewable energy, or what we call clean energy, being more efficient, circular, being circular in our thinking and in our production and consumption. You know, that is something that most people don't think about. I don't know that you've seen how people, I don't know, sometimes I feel like hitting people when you see them throwing plastic bottles out of the window of the car.
That annoys me as well.
The way we consume is sometimes can be very wasteful. Okay? Because we have, you know, I'll be very wasteful the way I eat, the way I use my clothing or whatever. So responsible consumption is key to, is part of the green economy. So it's basically making or incorporating certain aspects of sustainability in our economy. Environmental, social, and economic as well. So use of renewable energy is very key. Circular economy, you know, minimizing waste and making sure that there is efficiency and optimal use of resources. Is important. And of course, as you mentioned, things like taking care of our environment, you know, not just dumping the wastewater that is coming from the process in the factory into the river without treatment. That's a major concern.
So let's talk about the things that I know a bit. We talk about solar panels in households and the likes. You know, last I checked, in the news, and there was an uproar because people are embracing this new ways of having energy because they don't want to have that dependency maybe on the Kenya power that we have. So people have been trying to install solar and the likes. The last time I checked, there was, I don't know, some regulation being put in place. I don't know whether to stifle people or to cut down there was a concern from KPLC that there's a lot of people moving to the solar energy, which is the clean energy, and we are hoping we're going to be there. Kenya is still in the map as well as one of the top leaders when it comes to matters clean energy. And then you wonder, why is it that we are making some stringent measures for people to embrace this? I don't know, from where you see it, where are we? What's the scope? What's the landscape? And, you know, why is the government doing this?
I would say the government has wonderful policies to promote renewable energy. Okay.
Yeah.
And because of it, renewable energy uptake has been growing over time.
Yeah.
Okay. Technologies have become cheaper.
Yeah.
The cost of solar panels, if you compare 10 years ago to the cost now, almost 70%.
Lovely.
Reduction in cost.
Yeah.
So it's become cheaper and affordable.
Yeah.
And technology has improved, so they've become even better panels than what, I mean, it's changing almost on a daily basis.
Wow, lovely.
Now, government on one side has policies that, and even commitments they've made out there saying that they are going to promote renewable energy. But on the other hand, they are making it difficult for people to buy. And one of the ways they've done that is to increase VAT on some of these renewable energy products. Okay. Last year, VAT was introduced onto solar panels and solar equipment, into clean cooking products. But that has this year, in the Finance Act of 2021-22, at least the solar was exempted from VAT, making it cheaper now. Cook stoves are still expensive. They are still attracting VAT, which is unfortunate because, as I said, 70% of people are using inefficient and polluting cooking stoves. So why would you tax a sector that is actually growing, that will save the country in terms of the health costs, that saves the environment? Because you can imagine if we transition to LPG, ethanol, biogas, and all that clean, the stress on the trees you've seen
will go down definitely.
Exactly.
Actually, speaking of which, I don't know whether we even managed. We are less than 10% forest cover in this country.
Yes.
Those statistics shocked me, that we have cut down our trees to those levels that we are at less than 10%.
Actually,
that means
compared to the region, we are the worst. We are the ones, I mean,
compared to our neighbors.
Our neighbors, I think Uganda is at maybe 30%.
Oh no.
So
we are struggling to
hit our 10% target.
We are struggling.
Yeah. So these technologies, or these new methods of energy, cooking and all that, can help us achieve such targets faster and more efficiently.
Absolutely.
And it also saves the country a lot. I don't think we ever put a cost onto our natural resources. When you cut that tree, how it affects the whole ecosystem and the economy as a whole. So there's need to think absolutely sustainability in everything we do.
You're right. And allow me to just tell the people here, because there's last weekend I spent some time with a group of environmentalists, and they have a very nice concept. They call it Trees for Birthday. And they're just trying to encourage people to plant trees. In fact, I don't know, for all the viewers who are there, when was the last time you planted a tree? Or you normally see them just on the sidelines and hope they will never go. We are at a bad place and we need to plant trees. And I thought that was a lovely thing. Instead of buying a whooping cake of more than 1,000 bob, a tree seedling is about 50 bob. You can buy as many trees and plant them. And so I thought that's a very wonderful concept, and I will be shouting about it as well. And I don't know how many years you are, but the next time you celebrate it, let me assume, let's say you are 30, plant 30 every year, trees. The other one 31, that kind of thing, and we will achieve this. If everybody did that, imagine 45 million Kenyans doing that, we would definitely start now moving towards that concept of really covering our forest well. Anyway, just shout out to some of the people who are watching. Carol Chepngeno Langat, clean cooking should be part of our lifestyle. Absolutely. Saeed, what are you saying? I'm an environment student, and hearing that our homegrown companies are using clean energy and embracing the circular economy makes me feel optimistic. Absolutely. And we hope this is going to be what every other company does. One of your subjects from, this is someone who in my high school, he's actually mentioned, we were together. Good stuff, so good to see you, man. And thanks a lot for watching. So wherever you are and you're watching, what are your thoughts about this whole embracing of clean energy? We are here with the CEO, and he's telling us a lot about, clean cooking association of Kenya. Now, thanks for enabling us understand some of these concepts that are there, and I certainly hope the government can hear that we really appreciate the measures they're doing, but let them not stifle in any way. Let those discussions that we were hearing about, solar energy needs to be done this, not make it to the day. We're going to talk about what Parliament has just done the other day later on, because our legislators, we love you and we elected you, and we hope that you represent the interests of this country to the best of our knowledge. Let's get back to clean cooking. We are seeing a rise of various companies offering alternatives to gas and charcoal. First of all, what are these alternatives that are there? I know you've mentioned, I remember ethanol, but what other alternatives are there to, what we are so fond of, gas and charcoal?
And firewood. Those are
firewood, firewood and charcoal in the family, yes.
Yeah, so when you talk about clean cooking, there are what we call transitional technologies.
Yeah.
LPG is a transitional technology because it's fossil-based.
Yeah.
Even biomass, charcoal and firewood are also transitional because you can use them more efficiently.
Yeah.
One of the biggest manufacturers of improved biomass stoves in the region is based in Ruiru, here in Ruiru, called Ban Manufacturing.
Oh, Ban Manufacturing. The guys who make very nice jikos.
The jikokoas.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the biggest in the region. And they actually even supply, I think they're exporting now to Asia and all that.
Yeah, they didn't export. Yeah.
So, improved biomass stoves.
Yeah.
If you've ever used an improved stove, whether it's a chikokoa or another one, they are very, the smoke is minimal. Sometimes very minimal, sometimes you don't even see it.
Yeah.
You realize that the place where you're supposed to place the charcoal is very small.
Small.
Meaning they're using very
little
exactly.
And all that, yes.
The heat is more concentrated, so not that you cook for longer because you're using less makaa, but it's more efficient.
Yeah. I actually noticed that in one of their jikos, you can actually, on the sidelines as well, heat water.
Yes,
boil some water.
Exactly. So
we're encouraged by that.
There are very many. So you have those. We have ethanol.
Yeah.
That I've mentioned. They are. It's a new fuel.
Yeah.
And picking up, I think, as in Nairobi, 200,000 people using ethanol on a daily basis.
Okay.
That's big.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
There are challenges to it. I must say the supply of ethanol is very poor.
Yeah.
Our sugar factories are always
they have issues.
They have issues, and that is where we get our ethanol in this country.
Okay.
The other feedstock, you can get ethanol from cassava and from. I saw an article the other day. This thing that grows in Lake Victoria, water hyacinth.
Oh, the hyacinth.
You can actually get very good ethanol from it.
Wow.
So we need to explore ways, and there's a master plan that actually has been done. It's called the bioethanol industry master plan for this country, looking at various feedstock that can be used and how we can grow the economy, and it can attract huge investments.
Yeah.
It can save us a lot. Then of course we have LPG. LPG is also considered as clean because we are comparing it to the charcoal and the firewood that we're using.
Yeah.
Electricity. Do you know when you cook with an efficient pressure cooker, if you were to measure the units of energy you're using, it's cheaper than gas.
Wow.
Yes.
The pressure cooker.
Yes.
We need to talk more about that.
You have biogas. I think you mentioned about
Yeah.
Biogas. Very efficient systems, and now we have capacity to install even industrial scale. There's a 2 megawatt system in Naivasha,
Wow.
biogas system in Naivasha that is supplying to the grid.
Wow.
And of course even households. So there's capacity and the technologies are there.
So I'll ask you this question, and forgive my basic thinking. There are guys who live in flats, okay? Because it's easier for somebody who has a compound to set up something. So guys live in flats, and somebody would say, I would want to do away with this gas thing, if there is a way of doing some clean thing. Do they have any alternatives, really, as of now?
The alternative to gas for someone in Nairobi is ethanol.
Okay, yeah, ethanol.
Okay, it cooks as fast, the heat is, and it's cleaner.
And it's cleaner.
Okay, and cheaper.
Okay.
So it's
cleaner, cheaper, still cooks.
Exactly.
Okay.
Use it.
Where do I get ethanol? Because I feel like I should start. I'm already accusing myself because
there are a lot of companies in the market. I would say the leading company is called Coco Networks.
Okay.
Just Google them and you'll find.
Wow.
If in your neighborhood there's a Coco point
Yeah.
that you can go and get, and they've integrated technology into it.
Okay.
So and it's very safe. There are other companies, Leocam, there's Consumer Choice. There are a lot of them in the market. Yeah.
Wow, lovely. So I will ask the question about sustainability of things, because I think you've already mentioned a challenge there of the ethanol. I'll talk about the sustainability of it. I would like you to mention about it and the opportunity you see, especially where young people can really come in, because we are boasting of the fact that we are a 70% young generation. What do you see sustainability and the opportunities?
One, this renewable energy space, for example, is a new thing.
Yeah.
Relatively.
Okay. Yes.
In terms of adoption, and a lot of people are still not using it. It's new knowledge as well. So there's an opportunity out there for young people to get into that space. Go study renewable energy.
Yeah.
Explore options that you have within your area for even getting into that space as a business.
Yeah.
Okay. Most of the companies that you're talking about are run by young people, by women.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's an opportunity out there.
Wow.
You can make one of the fuels, sustainable fuels we promote is what we call briquettes.
Yeah.
Briquettes basically is charcoal, but made from, not from trees, cutting trees, but from waste.
Yeah.
From sawdust, from charcoal dust itself, from bagasse, from water that people, coconut waste and all that. You use that, make briquettes and sell it. It's very easy. Maybe a briquetting machine will cost maybe a small one for 30,000. There are all these opportunities, the youth fund, and where you can organize yourself, whether in groups, and apply for funding for such things
and try things out,
and even training. So there's real opportunity here for young people to get into this space.
Good.
And we've actually been really trying to promote that. Get young people to embrace this, because then what happens is that the moment they realize, I can make an improved GECO, I can get into ethanol, I can get into biogas, then in terms of adoption, we are seeing, the ripple effect of that, because they'll buy an improved stove for their mom, because they know it's good and it will, it's also good for the health of the mother.
Very true.
So there's opportunity out there.
You're right, because I don't know, I have a friend who told me that chips muitu has become more expensive. It's these chipos that are sold on the roadsides, so that means the mama who sells such, the cost of buying that charcoal has become more. Gas is also high, and so if there can be an alternative, I'm sure they would surely embrace it very fast. So we're trying to speak about the opportunities that are there, and we're saying that yes, young people can actually really jump into this wagon. And so my question is this: if somebody says, okay, I think this is something I would want to explore because it can be a game changer. Energy, everybody uses it in this country. Anybody who can crack alternatives and try help out from wherever you are, whatever village you come from, there are many things that you can do. Are there places where young people can go and can learn these things so they can go and try implement from wherever they are?
For some, I mean, yes and no.
Okay.
And that is where there's a gap.
Yes.
There's a gap.
Okay.
But a lot of the TVET institutions are now training people on solar. There's a curriculum that was done for TVET.
Okay.
So you can go to your local TVET institution. There's a high likelihood that there's a course on solar, for example, or a course on in biogas. Yeah. Okay. KIRDI, the Kenya Industrial Research and Development Institute, also supports SMEs. By the way, it incubates SMEs. Okay. You can go there and they will show you how to make an improved GICO. They can train you on how to make briquettes, or I know that they may not be everywhere, but those who are near one of the KIRDI centers can go there and learn. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
But there is need to actually, have more of these courses being offered, even at university level. But most importantly at TVET level, because these are technical courses. And that's, I mean, the TVET institutions are all over the country, and young people can easily go. I mean, skills sometimes can make you more. Sometimes you look at money, can make you more than even a degree, a university degree. You don't need a degree to learn how to do solar, or to do biogas.
You don't need that. Yes.
So if you don't have an opportunity to go to campus, go to your TVET institution, learn these new technologies and how you can utilize the local materials within your area to make, these sustainable fuels and, start a business. And I can tell you there are a lot of people who have changed their lives, improved their lives by getting into such spaces. Okay.
You're right. Yeah. And this is a huge opportunity.
It's a huge opportunity.
Goodness.
You have a market. We said 70. We need to convert 70% of our population to use clean cooking.
Yeah.
So that's demand out there.
There's a whooping huge demand. Exactly. If you're there and you're asking about business opportunities, business ideas, there you got it.
And you can also come to CCAK and write to us, and we'll maybe link you up with an entrepreneur near you who can also train you. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Lovely. I want to get into some of the comments. I can see some comments have popped in already. But before then, let me get into the regulatory framework, because everybody in this country sometimes is making a lot of noise about what's happening. So we're constantly hearing this about regulations, overreach, and unfavorable policies affecting businesses. I don't know from your sector whether there's something that you would point out and say, hey, this needs to be addressed. And let's sit back here and say there's a person, actually not a person, there's a regulator seated somewhere and watching this because they saw a topic that is close to them. What would be your word to them? Or do you have any comments on, the regulations environment?
We need regulations.
Yes.
For fair business practices.
Absolutely.
We need regulations for to promote a competitive environment. Yeah. To promote quality products out there, and all that. However, if regulation inhibits innovation, startups, it's too costly, then there's a problem. And that is one of the issues that we are talking about when we say there is some level of regulatory overreach.
Okay.
For you to start a water business, the number of business, the permits you need, the levies you have to pay, and the number of regulators that you need to engage. Not one. You need WASREB, you need NEMA, you need a license from
Cabs just come in.
cabs, from and some of these roles are actually overlapping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Duplicative. So why don't we make it easier for you to start a business?
Yeah.
Make it cheaper for you to run a business.
Yeah.
Environmental audits from this guy, from this regulator, from this. There are some of their roles are overlapping. Why don't we, make it easier for businesses?
Very
so,
true.
What that does, and I know Kenya has done a lot
Yeah.
to make it easier to start a business, the ease of doing business and all that. If you look at the ranks, we are improving.
Yeah.
However, we are still very far. Now with the advent of counties, counties are also slapping you with business licenses and levies and fees, and no one is regulating that.
Yeah.
Meaning that, I think I read somewhere, a county increased their rates and levies by more than 100%.
Yeah.
It means that our environment, business environment, is not predictable.
It's not.
Our policy environment is not predictable.
That's very dangerous.
And that's very dangerous. You
Very
do not
dangerous.
attract investors.
Yes.
You punish those who are in business.
Yeah.
And basically you tell those who would want to start up, you guy, you need this amount of money, because it actually, all these costs, for you to start a small water bottling plant, you may need even $1 million to start. Yeah. And that is levies and payments you're paying regulators all over.
Very true.
And audits.
Yeah.
So it becomes very expensive and inhibits economic growth. And industrial, we are talking about big four agenda. Manufacturing is one of them. How do you promote that if you're not making it easier for young people? You just talk about young people getting into business.
You're right.
You don't have $500,000 to start a business. Make it easier, make it cheaper. Facilitate, regulators, not just, getting people, help them. If you find someone who is not doing the right thing, instead of closing that business, tell them that there are options. Okay? Give them time. Tell them these are the options that you have. You can do 1, 2, 3. We are giving you time. Within 6 months, within a year, make sure that you've done this. We come, audit, check if that is done. Facilitate them. Don't just come and say, oh, you're dumping this, or you don't have this license. Close. No. Help them. Maybe they don't know, or maybe they're ignorant, or maybe it was expensive when they started and now they're trying to comply. Help them. They put their money there, they put their investment there, they are creating jobs. Facilitate these businesses instead of throttling them,
Very true. Very true.
So it's a big issue. And to register a business in Kenya, there are 7 steps you have to follow. Why don't we just have one? Why make it easy?
One place, one-stop shop.
One-stop shop for everything.
And you're done.
Exactly. Levies, why don't we have government levy, national government levies, county levies? Why don't we have
it all in one place?
In one place.
Yes.
That once I get my license to do business in Nairobi, I can distribute whatever I'm making in Turkana without paying levies in all the counties that my truck will pass. Because you actually have to.
Very true.
That is why, if you've ever seen, there are always some county officers at every county border point. And there's a sign there, pay your levies before you cross. So you can imagine I'm taking my product to Turkana. How many levies do I have to?
I know. Actually, somebody was talking about last week we were talking about why should we have inter-county levies being charged. So you have your goods, you're transporting them maybe to Nyanza. By the time you get there, my goodness, the cost has almost tripled.
Exactly.
Let's get to some of the comments before we finalize, of course, with what we have seen in Parliament. So Said is saying that my concern is the increase in prices of LPG gas, which will lead the common mwananchi who can't afford them to revert back to charcoal and firewood fuel. What's your comment on that?
It's unfortunate that from July this year, the cost of gas went actually more than 16% because VAT was reintroduced.
Crazy.
Okay. I think the cost for 6 kg cylinder
Yeah.
went maybe from 800 to now it's around 1200.
Yeah.
For the 13, it went up by 300 or 400 bob. Now, when you're talking about a price sensitive
Yeah.
consumer, an increase of 50 shillings
That's
can mean
huge.
that I stop using it and revert to
Charcoal, firewood.
exactly
Yeah.
or paraffin.
Yeah, or
In
paraffin.
urban area, by the way, there are a lot of people using paraffin.
Paraffin, you're right.
To cook and even to light. So, with the problem that we have in terms of adoption of these clean cooking technologies,
Yeah.
it's very unfortunate that the government doesn't see that opportunity. Help the LPG industry, the ethanol industry grow, cover the 70% that we are talking about,
Very true.
and you'll be able to tax them more.
Yeah.
The demand is already there.
Yeah.
If the demand is not there and you make it more expensive for the consumer, they will not adopt it.
They will not.
Or even for you who has gas, you'll be using it, very sparingly, and then using other because this Ngugi is a bit expensive. So that's unfortunate, and government needs to reverse
Yeah.
taxes on these clean technologies until we get to a level where we can leave the sector to market forces. At the moment, we can't. It's
Yeah.
a growing sector. It needs to be handheld.
Yeah.
It needs incentives for even investors to come in. So if there's no gas across the country and you're making it difficult, even investors will run away and go set up elsewhere.
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh my. Thanks a lot for that comment, Sayed. Mushirie Kihiu is saying, in fact, from a regulatory perspective, the problem is the government taxing those who adopt alternatives like solar energy. Yeah, that's the case, right?
Yeah, it's improved clean stoves are now being taxed, LPG is now being taxed,
Yeah. Yeah.
and yet the adoption is low. That's the unfortunate thing. Help the sector grow.
First,
Have 70% of this country using clean.
then you can start thinking about
Then you
getting
can
something
start
out of it.
thinking, there is now competition. Now you can tax it.
Yeah.
Now 70% of this country uses what? Charcoal and firewood.
Firewood.
You think the charcoal vendors are paying VAT? They don't.
They don't.
A guy who is collecting firewood from the forest or cutting a tree to cook, they're not paying.
They're not paying.
Imagine they were using ethanol. Ethanol is a controlled product. Okay?
It will be
It's
very
from a
easy.
form of business. Cocoa
tax it from the
Networks and
source
the
now.
others are
Yeah.
paying VAT, they are paying income tax, they are paying payee.
Yeah.
LPG vendors, Total, Vivo, whoever, they are paying, they can't afford not to because
Absolutely.
they are formal businesses. And
Yeah.
so why don't we make these 70% informal business formal
Absolutely.
by promoting
Yeah.
the formal companies, the clean technologies,
Yes.
which are
There and enabling these people can adapt
exactly,
to that.
and you'll get more taxes from them. Within 5 years, you'll be getting more money than what you're getting from the from the LPG VAT that you've put in place.
What you've just done is given the CS, Ikuri Atani, one way of enlarging the tax base.
Exactly.
So stop just stifling the little ones that we have. Mike Munene, do we have the capacity to do assembly of solar panels in Kenya or East African countries? Do we have?
I know of one company,
Oh.
I think Solink in Naivasha, that does
That's okay.
assembly.
If it's one, it's fine. We need to just empower them so they can do more.
So there is capacity, meaning there is also the technical capacity and the knowledge to do it.
Yeah.
For us to go to assembly of such, we need to grow demand for these products, not only in Kenya, in the region.
Yeah.
So we can be a hub for renewable energy
Yeah.
in Africa.
Yeah. We can
Because putting money into an assembly to serve a very small market, sometimes that don't make economic sense. And that is why some of the products will continue being imported.
Yeah.
But if we can grow demand for such products, there becomes, I think, Mkopa signed a deal to buy, some of the solar modules from Solink who are doing assembly here in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
So creating that demand, facilitating these businesses to set up and attracting such investments is key to government.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're
So there is capability, but it's at a very low scale at the moment.
Wow, lovely. We have about 3 minutes or so. And, I would just want to appreciate all the viewers who are watching. And, this could be a little bit new to you in terms of clean cooking, clean energy, embracing all that. But there are alternatives outside there, and you can do these things. I just want to finalize with, the question, not even a question, with the latest developments that we have seen from our parliament. So I'm sure you know this, that, they rejected the bill on to procurement, some portions of it that were going to be very favorable to, the local manufacturers, upcoming businesses and the likes. I don't know what is the impact on a sector like yours to this, and even to the innovators that were budding. I don't know what's your comment on this. I want to just let you feel free to speak about it. I will also read a comment from the CEO, Kenya Association of Manufacturers, and what they had to say, because they represent manufacturers in this nation.
I would say it's very unfortunate that the parliamentarians that we have elected to represent us are not doing their job.
They're not doing their job.
If you're not promoting your people, your local manufacturers, your innovators, the startups and all that, you're promoting imports.
Sure.
Basically, you're saying if a Chinese company comes to build a road, they're free to import cement from China, there's steel from China, labor from China, and we've seen them welding.
I know. Small tasks that can be done here. Yes.
Driving, if you see the way they are building the expressway, there are some things that definitely Kenyans are capable of doing, of supplying. Melvin's is an international brand.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Local here.
We are supplying AGOA. Remember the textile industry? We are supplying the European, the American market with textile products from Kenya. We have the capacity to produce very good quality products. And we need to promote that. Wow. The president gave a directive of 40% local content for public procurement. Parliament has just thrown that out of the window. So it's very unfortunate and not pro-business. You're talking about Big Four agenda, we are talking about manufacturing, we are talking about promoting all these sectors.
Let's do this, man.
I mean, we cannot produce vaccines and people are dying, and we are not even promoting investments into that
the few things we can do. My goodness, my goodness.
So it's unfortunate, and I think MPs got it wrong and needs to reverse
that
true.
Decision. That's true. Wow. Penina Mello, great insights there. Thank you so much for watching. Let me just read, in the same spirit, there was a statement by the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, CEO, after what Parliament did by rejecting sections of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Amendment 3 bill. And this is why it's important for you as a business person, and if you are in the manufacturing sector or any other sector that could supply people locally. Listen to this. KAM notes with concern the recent rejection of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Bill by Parliament. So they rejected it. The Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Amendment number 3 bill proposed to amend the Principal Act by, number 1, requiring all foreign tenders source not less than 40% of the supplies from local contractors. That means, for example, if it's a China bridge and whatever company come in here, 40% of all the metal that we use must at least come locally. You know what that would do? For example, a company like Tononoka, if they were to get such orders, they would have to increase their employees so that they can be able to meet the demand. But Parliament has decided no. Now, the other thing, increase the amount of tenders where Kenyan citizens are given exclusive preference from, this is $500 million to 20 billion. And they have felt no. We don't have the ability to do such things. My goodness, these are the people you elected. And so she goes on and says this, that by rejecting the bill, Parliament sends a clear message to local manufacturers, local creators and innovators that the country is not at all committed to nurturing their businesses. Certainly true. This move erodes the competitiveness of made in Kenya products and gives full advantage to foreign products which already highly encroach the local market share. Can't agree more. From the economic lessons of the pandemic, we need to prioritize being self-sufficient and as a country, and yet policies such as this move contrary and push us further into being a trading nation. It contradicts the 2015 presidential directive that requires that 40% of public procurement be preserved or be reserved for locally produced goods and services, which was actualized by the Buy Kenya, Build Kenya policy. Already, 334 manufactured products have been gazetted by the Cabinet Secretary for Industrialization, Trade and Enterprise Development. Needless to say, that further decline in the growth of the local sector will increase the already high rates of unemployment, which definitely everybody knows. Now, consumer landscapes are changing and businesses are adapting to the new normal as they grapple with the challenges that we have of the COVID-19. The proposal bill would have supported the maintenance and strengthening of supply chains to ensure that there is no disruptions in future in the presence of a crisis. The association wishes to assure all Kenyans and citizens that our local industry capacity to sustainably produce high quality products for the country and export markets. Absolutely, we have the ability to do that. And even here at Bistocks, we are saying we have held people here who do amazing products and create amazing things. So we urge Parliament to review their decision on the bill for the sake of our nation, our economic goals, our people, and our collective future. Thank you so much, Phyllis. That's the Chief Executive Officer, Kenya Association of Manufacturers. I can't agree with her more, you know.
It's unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, and I think they should be punished.
They should
We
be
need
punished.
to vote them out.
We need to vote them out. How do we not promote the only chance we have of creating more opportunities? I mean, when you look at countries like China, the reason why they grew in such an exponential rate is when they decided we're going to do manufacturing here.
We are not going to rely on people. When
I know.
COVID started, there were no masks,
There
and
were-
everybody was supplying the highest bidder.
Yes.
We couldn't bid.
Yeah.
And we are putting ourselves at risk.
You're right.
So in terms of securing our nation, it's actually they've just made it
More troublesome to do such a
Exactly.
thing. I know.
creating jobs.
I don't know. You have like 30 seconds to give a parting shot. What do you have to tell anybody who's watching about our subject today, especially in sustainability matters and, from your association point of view?
So one is, I would say that there's need for us to think sustainability
Yeah.
in terms of the environment,
Yeah.
social inclusion, inclusivity,
Yeah.
and integrate it in our economy. And companies need to integrate such into their strategies, into their operation.
Yeah.
Issues of being energy efficient, taking up renewable energy, clean energy, circular economy.
Yeah.
These are very key concepts that need to be promoted.
Absolutely.
Governments can do that using policy and promote them
Yeah.
and facilitate businesses instead of impeding or creating obstacles.
Yeah.
And to speak to the to where I see it as the CEO of the CCAK,
Yeah.
there's need to create an enabling environment to increase the uptake and the investments into the clean cooking sector. It's a sector that's been left behind for a long time.
Yeah.
And there's need for incentives to attract investors, innovators, and to drive demand.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely. Such a wonderful, refreshing conversation as well of what we really call in the future of sectors in this country, especially in the energy sector. That's David Ngugi, the Chief Executive Officer, Clean Cooking Association of Kenya. We appreciate such initiatives and such people who are also pushing the agenda of ensuring that we move to a sustainable economy. And that's where we need to go for the sake of our generations and safeguarding the future of this nation and even the globe at large. Thank you so much for tuning in. That was Biz Talks episode on sustainability. See you next time. Keep working. Bye-bye.